Welcome to the Dyson's Effect.
A show about everyday situations, issues, and topics we talk about and give our opinions.
We may even listen to yours.
We are your hosts, Johnny,
And Theresa.
also known as Mr. and Mrs. Dyson.
Hey. This is Johnny,
And this is Theresa.
and this is another episode of The
Dyson's Effect.
So. We've been gone for the past micro episodes. Now that we have you back, I guess people want to hear a woman's perspective rather than hearing mine. The topic that we have today is more predicated of something that I've seen a few times on certain TV shows, on certain things on TV, and I guess kind of want to, I don't know. I guess I want to look at this from a bird's eye view a little bit first. So, baby, what's the topic?
Hold on.
Ah,
Can you forgive someone who tells you they want a divorce if they change their minds?
so can you forgive someone if someone tell you they want a divorce if they change their minds? I guess the question is, what was the issues leading up to that point? One of the reasons why this is interesting, the show we was going to talk about was saving probably to talk about it, the Iyanla Van Zant show about the wife that said she wanted a divorce from her husband, and then like after talking and everything that was going through, she came back and changed her mind a little bit. The one when the guy says that she doesn't have to worry about anything, that one. So, I guess how long is long enough? Like for a person to be going through something, because a lot of times people be in a relationship and they are going through it, but sometimes you look up, it has been 5 years, it has been 10 years, and not to use too much of the reference of that show because we do want to talk about it later, but they've been together over 20 something years, maybe almost 30 if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there, between 20 something years. So I guess what are the things that lead up to that? So we talked about certain things before. Is there anything first unforgivable in a divorce from your perspective?
Unforgivable for
Period.
causing a divorce?
Yes, from your opinion.
Um,
That's just like unforgivable.
I would say a baby out of wedlock, because you got to deal with that and look at that child for the rest of that marriage, the rest of the child's life. So for me, I think that is unforgivable. Some women say no. So, but for me, I just feel like if you had any respect or anything for the marriage you were in, why
That
go sleep with someone unprotected and create a child?
that is very, very common from the earlier days of our great grandparents and grandparents for people to have outside kids. I'm not sure, but I've heard something of it to the extent that it has happened in our family. But I don't know if it would be a fact or not, but for outside baby, in those times, women stayed succeed in the relationship for many different reasons. Um, so having a baby is kind of like unforgivable. Like you can't. That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, because I don't know how I would feel raising this child. Not saying, it's the child's fault or anything, just for me. Like, I probably wouldn't have any kind of emotional bondage or, with this child because of the way the child came. Like, I don't know. It would be extremely hard for me. It would be extremely hard for me. And then you got to think, what does that do to the kids, the kids that you have in the marriage? Like, do they,
How can
like,
they accept them as family
yeah,
now?
and how could they respect you as their father or mother, knowing that in your marriage you went out and had a whole nother baby, whether it's man or woman?
This was a topic somewhere when
And especially if they're older kids and they're grown and they know, what's going on, or like I think that would just be a lot. I think that itself would put a lot of strain on the family.
this was a topic. Basically, it was. I want to say there was. I don't know if it was a celebrity or someone that had some money. A couple of years ago, when it's a lot of kids. Let's say three of us. This is a topic somewhere. Basically, he was married. He had an outside kid. We'll come to find out the kid, they didn't know about him, but now they do know about him. And the father passed away, and they had to basically try to become a family and split like a lot of the things because he left a lot of things to the children, and it was proven that that's his child. But that wasn't like a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 year old. It was like an adult now. That is interesting. That is interesting. And how could you forgive someone that has done that? But then you gotta think though too. Like, can you, being that we're talking about this situation, can you put the child before your own feelings? Like, which one is more? Can you?
My feelings.
So your feelings is way more important than this child.
He has a mom, or she has a mom and dad, and I mean they are to raise that child. I'm not obligated just because you guys made this mistake and brought a baby into the world. I'm not obligated to take on this child or be there for that child. If I decide I'm walking away and don't want anything to do with it, then you just have to respect that decision because I didn't make this mistake. So why am I obligated to be there? I'm not. It's not my child. I didn't have it. I don't have any emotional ties to it. None of that. Like, you two have to figure that out for the next 18 years, 21, 30, whatever years.
If you don't be with them.
Right.
So, but this is in the case of
even if you decide to stay. I mean, I guess if you decide to stay, you're saying you accept the child, but will the emotions be there? Knowing this child was created, with your husband cheating, like I feel like it's just would be too much drama. Now you got a baby mama and you married, like, in your life, like,
which already be some
yeah,
issues.
like
It's already having baby mama issues, period. But
that's a hard pill to swallow.
it is.
Cheating is already a hard pill to swallow, but when you create a baby that's here to stay, that's even more.
Does it matter? Being that you brought in a baby, does it matter that it was a break baby? Like, let's just say, in the lieu of this conversation, let's just say you wanted a divorce. You, female, you want a divorce. And I said, all right, we're going to get a divorce. All right, this and that. We go our separate ways. In the process of the separate ways, I meet somebody, have sex, I have a baby. I didn't. Someone could still say that's cheating because divorce is not final. Some will still argue that. But something happens, you know, and we end up getting close back together, and I'm not with this lady no more. A few years go by, and I have a baby, and I basically come out that this baby is mine, and we end up rekindling our marriage. Is that the same or no? Because I want to say
Can't really be on a.
because you know how because I'm friends with a few people. Even a couple of family, I'm friends with a few people that the marriage takes so long. Like a marriage don't happen like in 6 months or 3 months. Sometimes marriage take like divorce. A divorce take like sometimes like a few years, right? Sometimes it take like 3 years, and I'm seeing where sometimes it take like 5. And then because you go back and forth with the person with paperwork, then they might move, then they might fall on hard times. This and that. It may take a couple years, and it doesn't have to be a lot of assets. Sometimes it just could be a lot of mess sometimes, and a lot of disagreements and everything. So, that's a good question, cause that's what isn't that what Dwayne Wade's situation was? Like they took a break or something like that, and he had a break baby or whatever the situation was. But I mean, think about it. That's something to think about. Like, could you accept me back? Cause let's just say hypothetically I didn't know. Well, let's just say I did know. No. Let's say I didn't know. It's more better if I didn't know. Because it done been 3 years now. You done went your separate ways. Let's say you done met somebody, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. I met somebody, didn't work out for any reason. And I got him pregnant. And come to find out a couple years later, because the baby's still young, 2-3 years old, come to find out she's saying the baby mine. Come out the baby is mine, but we're getting better and better in our relationship. Because I've heard in certain psychiatrists, certain psychologists, certain marriage couples that written a book. There's a lot of people that written a book have said how certain cheating, getting close to divorce, and all these issues they was having. I think we were just watching one not too long ago. How that ended up enhancing and better their relationship. Mm-hmm. Right. So imagine if a baby got thrown in the mix. Do you think you can forgive the man in this situation? And y'all went y'all separate ways, but how life works, sometimes y'all come back together, but now he has a baby. Do you think?
I don't know. I guess it depends on.
What would it depend on? Because that's interesting. Think about that. I mean, we were young when we got together, right? Let's think about that. We were young when we got together. We were not married. For people that don't know, we've been together about 25 years. But you know, there was time that me and you broke up when we was young, and we really thought we was done with each other. So I want to put you in that mind state. You know, we broke up when we was young all them times. Like, we thought we was really done. But sometimes we just end up coming back and forth together, right? So could you imagine that happening, but it took a little bit longer, and it was a baby that came in between that time process? That's what I'm saying, because you see how we still have, you know, we still loved each other, right? We still went through one of the times that we broke up, my grandmother passed away, right? So when my grandmother passed away, you came down to the funeral, you did all this, so we wasn't even all the way back together, and people still thought we were together. So imagine in the midst of all this, you know, what if we was married? Because we're talking about a marriage at this point. What if we was married and it was a baby in the process? You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
No.
I don't know. That one, I mean, yeah, I guess yes and no, you didn't cheat because we divorced, you know, you were dating, I was dating, you know, or whatever.
Right.
But we just so happened to rekindle things a couple years later. I may consider.
You may consider it.
Yeah.
Now, let me flip it. What if it was me and we went our separate ways and you had a baby, and I guess let's just say the divorce we talked about was mutual. The divorce we talked about was mutual, and we was like, okay, then you went your separate way, and both of us there as people, but then come back, baby by another dude. That stings a little bit.
Why?
Cause man,
We went together. It's not different.
I'm explaining it from my point of view, and you explained it from your point of view. My point of view is dudes can be extra just like women can. It's not any merit on you saying which is better. Just like women can be too much being a baby mama. Sometimes dudes be too much being the baby dad. Cause now he always gonna think he got a leg up on me. He might. It's
The same for the woman.
and that's not what I'm not disagreeing with. So, but I don't know. I think I could do it. I would just make it more feasible for us to have the upper hand in the situation, especially as long as I can continue to be the head of the household. But as it relates to this, if one person says they want to divorce, so let's go tit for tat on this one. Let's first say I'll take the first blow. Let's first say the guy said, you know what, baby, this ain't working out. This ain't working out, baby. I think I want a divorce. The man says it. Is it easier to forgive them and they say they changed their mind if it's a man that's saying it?
It depends on what was the reason for the divorce. Or were you working on this marriage, seeing a counselor, and things still didn't change, and then the divorce came up? There's a lot of different, I guess, reasons of why you would forgive someone after being asked for a divorce. Or did they ask for a divorce and you said, hey, well, let's try counseling first before we take that drastic step? And counseling ended up working and the divorce was no longer on the table. So, or was it? I mean, divorce shouldn't come up just in a regular argument. Divorce is kind of a big thing. So, and I always tell our married friends, like, you should never really be saying that you want a divorce.
Yeah, don't say the D word. Or talk like you want to leave the relationship.
Yeah, like,
don't have those conversations.
Don't put that out in the universe because
sometimes the universe will give you what you want.
Yeah. So what was the reasoning for this person asking for that divorce? Is it something that's forgivable? Could you look at that person and know, I guess, see that they are genuinely sorry for asking for a divorce, or did you guys work through whatever issue they felt that you guys needed to work on?
For the man, though, let's just say for the man in this case, though. I mean, think about it. Like, if a man says it, let's go into the mind of a man. If a man says it, he's just like, look, I just can't do this no more. Theresa, I just cannot deal with you having a low haircut every day. Like, you gonna have to grow your hair out and get you some weave, and I don't want to hear your mouth, and you gonna get you somewhere and sit down. Now, we gonna get a divorce, and cooler heads prevail, as they say. Because the thing about this, though, is, when was it said and how was it said? Right.
Was it a heated argument?
Was we fighting?
I mean, it's never right to say it, but I mean, I guess things happen in some relationships where the word is thrown around. So, and a lot of married couples hear it every other day or every week or once a month, So, I think I think it's forgivable. I mean, I don't think it's that now, because you've seen people file for divorce, separate, and end up back together. Yes. So, I mean,
that's the point I was making earlier.
Yeah, you see that happening. So, just saying you want a divorce and taking action on getting that divorce is two different things. You could say you want a divorce, but nothing, ever happens to come
Good point.
out from it. Is it something that you're going to just forget like it was never said? No. You may, that may bother you, but at the same time, if you decide to forgive them and take them back for it, you can't just throw it up like, remember that time you said you want a divorce? Don't you want a divorce? And, so I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's like a unforgivable thing. There's worse things.
Yes, there are. There are worse things, but into the mind of a man, if a man said it,
Maybe saying you want a divorce will get that partner's attention that things isn't right and that they need to get their act together if you are truly someone that they want to continue to be with. Maybe that's maybe that's an attention grabber, at least, to say.
do we still need attention grabbers?
I mean, some relationships too. I don't know if you. I mean, you could say, "Hey, we need counseling," or I don't like how this is going, or we're having issues with this, or I think we need to communicate. There's other ways to get attention besides divorce is kind of a graphic
harsh
way, yeah.
Well, so if a man says it, usually, and I'm speaking generally, usually men are the ones that usually bottle things up when it comes to relationships. Usually. Men are usually one that hold all their feelings in, because they don't express all of their feelings as much as women. So usually if a man says it, basically he's had it to the point for him to say it's like, look, he's just so mad, so he probably feel that he at his wit's end. It's like, damn it, this is it. Now Theresa, I done told you. Now you gonna sit your ass down. Now if you don't keep listening to me, we gonna get a divorce. And then after you calm down, they gonna be like, you know what? I was just, I was upset. I'm sorry. I fucked up. But what if some other shit they came with it? What if he said he wanted a divorce and moved out? He or she. Well, let's hold on that one. So now what if a female did it? If a female said, hey.
I think a female is more forgiving to a male than a male to a female. I think if your wife told you she wants a divorce, I don't think you would forgive.
You don't think a man would?
Mm-mm. Because I don't think so. Because then they're like, they're iffy on coming back. Like, what changed your mind? Or the first thing they want to say is you cheat. No, you're with somebody else. That's why you want a divorce. And so I don't think a male would forgive a female, as a female would be quick to say, okay, well, let's work on this and maybe not try to do something so drastic the next time. I think a male would be quick to be like, all right, and that be it.
That's an interesting point. I'm going to say, though, based on history and based on the things that women has went through in the past, and like we were saying earlier, from the eras of and the generations of our grandparents and great grandparents, being that it happened so much back then of men having outside children. Although I heard a few small stories of women having outside children because of a lot of other formalities and things going on. It's more common for the men. I'm gonna unfortunately say that is correct.
Mm-hmm. I know.
So, what if? Okay, so who do you think? So women are more forgivable. Okay, let's Okay, well, y'all can have that one. I'll agree on that. Women are more forgivable. Who do you think is more to fly off the handle and say something like that when they mad? We gotta pick one. Who is to say something more like we getting a divorce?
Maybe women, because our emotions take over sometimes, especially during a heated argument. Um, and you know, the things you say you regret later. So I think a woman would be more reluctant to
Cause they
say
react.
the D word.
Cause they react off emotions more.
Yeah, because when I hear it from a friend, it's from the female.
It's always from. It's never from the man.
Right.
Huh. So usually when it's for the sake of argument, I'm gonna say it's probably the man to cherry pick off of the last point. If women are more so taking the brunt of things and what's going on, they will be less likely to say that. If they're more forgivable, right? If women are more forgivable, they're less likely, this is my opinion, they're less likely to blurt out and get mad and say, you know what, I think we get divorced, because they're more forgivable. I think as it relates to this conversation piece, men are more abrupt to say those things because they are not as forgivable as women. Now, yes, there is a situation that comes into play: the environment, social statuses, finances, upbringings, experience. A lot of things that comes to play on the different mindset of these people, and as it relates to marriage and how they view marriage and things they have went through in their past and their knowledge of it. But I think I'm going to say men would be the more so because they're not as forgivable. But as this relates to us, we've talked about us on this podcast numerous amount of times. Which one of us is more likely to fly off the handle and say something they don't mean?
Me.
Me. You, huh? That was quick. You didn't have to be like, well, you just, me. You had your hand up. Me, teacher. Who wants to go to the bathroom? Me, teacher. You had your hand up, no problem. So, hypothetically speaking, based on that, do you think, as it relates to this question, you would be more likely to say you want a divorce and turn around and say you change your mind, as it relates to this question?
I don't think I would say that because I know that is kind of damaging. Like that could be damaging in a marriage. Like you say you want a divorce and then you change your mind. First of all, what changed your mind? Why did you say you wanted to divorce in the first place? In the back, so in the back of your spouse's head, this could always just be something that they keep in mind. So I think it would cause a little damage to the marriage. So I don't know if I would do.
Because I'm putting you on the spot right now with that. Well, let's think about it though. Let's think about it. Let's take this. Let's chew on this one for a minute. You are more likely to go off, but you wouldn't say the D word.
I don't think I would.
You don't think you would, but so there's things you said in the past. Was those things that you knew would to poke at me, to do a little quick look stab to see if you could hurt my feelings? Because you just saying what line not to cross.
An argument is always to win.
No, it is not. No, it is not. I don't know who told you that. They lied to you.
It is.
Whoever told you that, they lied. They lied to you. When a husband and wife argue,
to win.
It is not to win.
Make the best person win.
Nope. Okay, so now I'm going for Mike Tyson punch out now in this shit.
Make the best person win.
I'm gonna knock your ass out, shawty. So When we argue, that is your intent. Come on, that's your intent is to win. So do you think you be losing?
I'm just saying, like,
No, no, no,
some
no.
of the things that are said, it could be okay. You said this, so I'm gonna go a jab harder, or
In the past,
I'm gonna
though.
throw
In the
this.
past, though, I don't argue, though. So, like, the stuff that I said is that you take it that way, and you be like, okay, all right, all right, all right, and then you say what you say. It's because of how you take it, even though it may not be. Oh, so that's all in your head then.
So you say.
No, I'm asking you now. You telling me.
So you say.
You telling on yourself right now. You trying to cover it up.
It's the past. It happened.
No, no, it ain't the past. Cause I'm seeing your ammunition that you dealing with. You said that you'll go for the jugular. You going for the kill every time you argue.
But we don't argue like that. So
We don't, but I got to know what I'm dealing with. So you go for the kill if we get into an argument, like we said before, it's 2021. Been like good probably 2 years maybe now since we got into that argument. You was going for the jugular.
doing what it takes to win.
There's no winner in arguing though when you're married though. Why?
And
There's no winner in arguing with your spouse. Do you know that? There's no winner. You both kind of like it's just to hash it out. There's no like winner loser. And that's funny because you you have nothing to reference that to. All the couples you heard, all the married couples you heard arguing. Tell me the time that you thought that was you heard somebody win. Nothing.
who do I hear arguing?
I said when you was coming up, who did you hear argue, and that was a good idea for them to go for the jugular and like to say those things to hurt.
Depending on what the argument was for.
I said, who did you hear?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't grow up with married people.
Oh, okay. So, so that's something you cultivated on your own. Okay. All right. Bad information, but okay. All right. I didn't have a lot of married people around me growing up, but I don't go for the jugular though. You trying to break some heads off of what you say. And another thing, that's what you do. Okay. I know what I'm dealing with. And another thing. And when you get mad, that's what you do. You like to grit your teeth, like, yeah, I said it. And then, like, an hour later, you be like, I'm sorry. And I'm just supposed to be like, yeah, that didn't mean nothing. Yeah, you talking about me. I cried about it, but yeah. What's for dinner, baby?
Yep.
Nope. No, but what is we talked about it before on here. The top reason people get a divorce is cheating, of course. Money. What are some other ones?
Abuse.
So, with that being said, within those, which one of those do you think has dissipated over time if they can see the clouds from the, see the forest from the trees or see the clouds in the sunshine? Because finances. If finance is one of the biggest issues that people be like, we just watched some the other day, and the guy was like, you spent all this money and we don't make the money back, we get a divorce because over money they had a business and so on and so forth. So is that forgivable because they end up coming out of the hole? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, money was the issue. Like, if they get out of this money issue, Is it so? Is it
Basically, she took what they had there last.
Yeah.
And I guess
it was
tried to-
$85,000.
Yeah, was trying to buy. This was around the 9/11, all that. So
Yeah,
I guess she bought merchandise in hopes for them to sell it.
Right.
And he basically was like, "That was all we had. If we don't make
And he
no
told
money,
her not to. I think he told her not to spend so much money or something
right?
like that. To that
If
extent.
we don't make no money, we're gonna be basically homeless." And he was gonna divorce her.
Yes. Was he wrong for that?
I mean,
Think about it. Just think about it. In that situation, when we're talking about them, based on
for
everything.
someone taking the last that you guys have, that could put a strain on that marriage, because you don't know if this money is gonna flip or flop. And you being the head of the household, and you've already advised her not to spend no money. I mean, maybe that was his way of saying that that's going to be the consequence that you're going to suffer. Like, I'm going to leave this marriage if you lose all of our money. But she ended up doubling it, so.
Was he wrong for that? Because that's a good indication right there. That's a good one. I just thought about that right now. That's a good indication. Now, because I can't remember the show we was watching. Black Love. They had a retail store business, and she spent all and you got a business. It's one thing to have two separate businesses as a married couple, because you got to manage it, and this person got to manage their business on it. But y'all have a business together. Y'all have to manage the money, the business, and the home finances together. So she spent the whole $85,000, and he said, "Look, if we don't make that money back, we get a divorce." Like, he told her flat out. Like, it wasn't like no flinching or nothing when he said it was like, and she said she got out there and made it work. Like, and I wonder, was that the fire that she needed to make it work though?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we need a certain type of fire in our butt to get something to happen. And they've been together for what, 30-some years, 40-some years, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was forgivable.
Do you think it was right what he did? Come on.
No,
Don't quit. This
no.
is like my fourth time asking you, because I think you leaning towards.
I mean, I don't
think
know.
about it.
Because you kind of took the life savings, so.
$85,000 is a lot. That's almost six figures. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and then.
Come on, you gotta give me an answer. No. You gotta give me an answer. Was he wrong for telling his wife?
Yes.
He was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he was wrong because
it's the divorce word. It's something.
it's the D word.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something that's a little
he should have
strong.
never said it and threatened her with that.
I think there could have been other things that he could have said in place of that, but like you said, that could have been what put the fire behind her, and she sold everything and made double the money back. So
Eventually, they didn't get the divorce. They made all their money back, and they stayed together. They still together to the day. I think like some 30 or 40 some years. But anyway, just think about it, man. Like 30 some 40 years would have been at jeopardy because of that. And he was just like, when someone says they're getting divorced and they change their mind, usually they're in a frustrated situation, in a frustrated time. So if these things, this is what I suggest in this. First, in conclusion, what do you think? How do people get over this situation if they are in this situation and the significant other says, "Hey, I changed my mind"? In conclusion, what do you think? Like, how do they rise up out of it?
I guess you can ask what changed your mind or what happened. Like I said, if you guys decided to do counseling and to fix the issue, then fine. Did you decide to try to rekindle the marriage and see if the love was still there? It started from square one with dating and, just being friends, getting to know the new person. Because after you're together for so long, you don't stay the same for 15, 20 years. Like,
you grow.
People,
Evolve,
grow,
yes.
they change. The things they used to like, they no longer like. They like new things. You become and that's what you want to do. You don't want to, who wants to still be, somebody from 1999?
the same person.
Yeah, like there is people out there that's like that, and it's sad. But so
Right.
maybe you guys got to know the new you, the new who you're, who you're growing to be, and the divorce was off the table. Um, I think it's forgivable. It just depends on what the reason was. So, like, if you say you want a divorce and you take action on that divorce,
Right.
then it may not be so forgivable as just saying you want a divorce and put no action behind it.
Right.
Or we fix the issue of wanting to divorce. Now, if you say you want a divorce and you don't have a valid issue, then I'm going to grant you that divorce because obviously you want to be single, or you may have someone else in mind, and I'm not going to hold on to someone that don't want to be.
Even if they change their mind. You saying if they said that and it wasn't the issue, that's basically what they wanted anyway.
No, I said if you say you want a divorce. Oh, and yeah, there's no issue on why.
Right.
You're just saying you want a divorce. Then I'm going to grant you the divorce. But if you come back and say you changed your mind, then I don't know. Like, that one will be a little iffy for me because you didn't have a reason to say you wanted the divorce. I would think like, okay, well, maybe your person you thought you were going to be with called things off, and now you're just going to sit and hold me around until the next person come along.
No.
So, I don't know.
Well, I think, the biggest thing, in conclusion, I'll conclude this way. I wish I had the list. Let's look at the list at the top. I think it's like 5-7 reasons. In-laws was one of them. People get a divorce. In-laws, cheating, finances, abuse, children, right? Being married in with children, and so on and so forth. So, I think that if it came to a point when someone said, hey, I want a divorce, and that is it, if it came to something that led up to that for them to say those things, is it something that was an issue before they blurted out those words? And has this been an issue for the past X amount of years, for the past 2 years, 5 years, 7, and it's just been a boiling point. The respect issue, disrespect issue, so on and so forth. Is this something that has spilled over for so long, and that's what led them to say those things? Are we getting to the root cause of what's going on in their lives? If it's any of those things, finances, abuse. So as we get into the road, like if she's abusing me, very rare case, but let's throw it out there because it is certain situation when a woman abuses a man. So say that again.
Beat your ass.
So if my wife is abusing me, and I just get to the point and just say, all right, forget it, I can't do it, I'm done, and then you still talking like that, and you say something you don't mean, and I'll be like, all right, she still love me even though she beats me. If she doesn't resolve her issues, how do you resolve the marriage? If the person don't resolve the issues that led the person to say these things, how do they resolve the marriage? If these people having problems with their finances, and I think we said this before, just because you the head of the household, far as the man, doesn't mean you should lead all the money if you're bad with money. The person that is better in those things, they should handle those things. Certain people are better with organizing, putting things here, hey baby, why don't I think I've done the research and I think this is a good area for us to move to, and this is why. So all of these things play in the factor of, okay, maybe this is the best option, maybe this is not the best option, and are we solving these problems that cause this person to say these things? Are we solving these problems? If the finance is the issue, we need to deal with it. If abuse is the issue, we need to deal with it. If cheating is the issue, that's an underlying issue that doesn't fall on the other person. If a man cheated on his wife, It has nothing to do with the wife fixing it. The man has to fix the inner issues he's dealing with on why he thought it was a good idea to cheat on his wife, and vice versa. Simply because whatever that reason is, it may be some inner hurt. It may be if you cheating back and forth, you guys got some issues you need to talk about on why cheating is a good idea in a marriage. Like, so it's many things when it comes to cheating, and then if there's babies involved and so on and so forth, it just makes it a nice little clusterfuck, as they say. So with that being said, if a person that blurts out and says, I think my opinion, I think anything is forgivable. I think a baby is forgivable. I think money loss is forgivable. I just think it depends on the circumstance and the situation that comes with it. Like, I can forgive a baby, but what's coming with this baby that I gotta forgive? Like, what type of dude is this? What type of female is this? Like, what comes with it? Finances, I can forgive it, but what is gonna come with this? Are you have a changed mind now? Is how you view money, is it different? Because a lot of times, a lot of us that has grew up differently in dire straits and circumstances, we don't respect money, and we blow money, and we don't save money, and we don't value money. We don't value money to pass on and so forth. Is our minds different when it comes to money? If it's different, if we're just going back in it because everything is better now, no. Did we solve this issue? So that's the biggest thing. Are you asking yourself those questions? Are you solving these issues? Are you dealing with the old hurt? Are you dealing with the issues that cause you to blur out these words? Are you dealing with the issues on why was it a good idea to tell your significant other the way that you told them, and to come behind that and apologize about it in a way that could possibly hurt them? Are you trying to help their pain that you caused when you did that? Because now you hurt this person. So being that you hurt this person, how can you build their confidence up about you again? How can you build their trust and their loyalty up about you again? And as it relates to people that's like my beautiful, amazing, vivacious wife, why is it a good idea to blurt things out when you're mad and you don't mean it? We got to tackle those issues, because the things that people taught us before, it didn't work for them. And if we cultivated these ideas on our own, and if we didn't challenge them to see if it's a good idea to keep these ideas, and they're not working, we can't keep doing the same thing and get the same outcome. We can't keep doing the same thing and say, oh, I didn't mean it, because you might have a history of it. So what if you didn't mean it and it's true, but how can I believe you? How can you rebuild that trust, that loyalty, that confidence, all these things this person needs over this blurred out situation? So, in this situation, stay open-minded, stay candid, stay forgiving. Anything is forgivable, depending on what comes with it. Don't shake your head, no. If I cheat and have a set of triplets out there, and it ain't my fault they was triplets, and then what if I find out late too? Like, I remember our family member. She came back to one of our family members and said he had a baby, and he married to this is his second marriage. Thinking about it, he's married to a second woman, and she came back and said this baby. She didn't even come back through the first marriage and said this baby was his. She came back to the second one and said this baby is his. Blood test, and it came out that it is his, and the relationship would never be right. It's one of those things would never be right. It's just, till this day, their relationship is indifferent. Because they got together when the boy was almost a teenager, and their relationship would never be right because the mother had ill intentions and so on and so forth. So in that situation, that was hard for that person's significant other to just be like, how do I accept this new son as a teenager? And how do she not blurt out certain things and she don't mean it? But I digress. But you got your new hat on because you got some new merch coming.
Yeah, that's ugly, but it'll work.
Okay. All right, good job shooting it down before you even.
I mean, I got it off of a website. I don't like how they printed it on there, but yeah, it's cool. I got new stuff that I'll be posting on the website hopefully in a couple weeks. I'm not on social media right now. I'm trying to get my life together.
Do a mental cleanse.
So the last surgery I had was kind of draining. It shouldn't have been, but
I haven't talked about why you was going away, so I don't know if you want to talk about that or not later. But let's see if we'll talk about that next time. And your social media handles are
Mrs. Curvy Flavors Boutique.
And
My personal Instagram is I am his Mrs. Dyson.
yes, I love all the energy you have right now too. And our social media pages is The Dyson's Effect on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can email us at The Dyson's Effect at Hotmail. Mine is Your Benevolent Coach on Instagram and Facebook, and Benevolent Coach on Twitter. And please get in contact with us with any ideas, questions, and issues you may or may not have to get more and more insight for us as relationship coaches. So, we're going to end on that note. So that means I am Johnny.
And this is Theresa.
And this is another episode of The
Dyson's Effect.
Peace, love,